Came off the leg of Colin Ward to Tawira Nakau. No restarting again on the tackle count. What about that for a money ball? Looping pass over the top, and Barnett, a straightforward corridor for the corner. The Sharks try number 4.
Billy Moore's game tonight has been good. Peachy into the back line. Ettinghausen a bat off. Did it go forward? Barnett back inside for Nakau. He's going to score, Nakau! Nakau scores! The Sharks are down, but they're not out.
Lock forward from Cronulla to be there, but Ettinghausen, that's amazing stuff there. Great touch.
That's experience for you. And he did very well, Barnett. There was plenty of North Sydney defenders coming over, 4 or 5 of them, but they just couldn't control only 2 Cronulla players. And Nakau has had a pretty good game for Cronulla tonight. He's the man on the spot.
Beautiful work by Barnett. The pick up, and then he was graceful. And look at Tawira Nakau. Hausen, Green on the run round. That's made the extra man. Samad in from the back, and Tuvey is there. Got the pass away to try. Scored by Barnett, the winger. He puts the index finger up as if to say, thank you. That's one I owe you.
I think they get one wide, the Roosters.
And Fittler has sensed that. He bullets a pass across. Goulet for Singh. Here's a try. Yes, Barnett. He's gone in the corner, as predicted by Sterlo. And Fittler had already read that situation. 15-4. Sydney City, first to score in the second half.
Sorry, Ray, he actually wanted it to play before. Beautiful ball from Fittler onto Logan. Then Juni, he had to go himself, but they really never recovered, Newcastle. They didn't get troops out there. That pass was a beauty. This one was even better. The cut-out pass out in front of Matt Singh, and there's no way knowing that Moody could get to his opposite man, Richie Barnett, with the player in between. Well executed on the last.
Pete, I was a little bit surprised that Matty Singh decided to pass the ball on. Thought he might have had Richie Barnett backed in the double. Thought he could have quite comfortably dived and slid across the line. But some hope being shown early in the second half. The way that Fittler's running the ball, and his players are quite prepared to run into the holes. Not quite the same desperation being shown, I think, in defence by Newcastle, although I think that'll probably disappear pretty soon. Handling that stopped them adding another 4-pointer, but for how long?
Here we go with the Roosters again, and Barnett out wide. Barnett for the corner, Barnett the try. He's got a double as well, Richie Barnett. And it's 44 points to 0. That is definitely the biggest margin between these two sides.
Well, Graham Mackay once again, the umpteenth time today, being beaten, certainly got himself in a position where he was always in strife. He's never going to match it for pace for Richie Barnett, one of the most fleet-foot players in the game. And Peter Mulholland, the Roosters' defensive pattern from scrums today really hasn't been the best.
No, certainly Mackay just leaves something a bit in his eye there. I mean, as you said, Wally, he's always going to be beaten by Barnett on the outside for pace. And that situation there is just number off and get up in their faces as quick as you can. You're only 10 metres from your own line.
I think what they've also got to try and do is say, hey, look, these blokes are too good for us when we're employing our slide defence. Let's do the old Canterbury defence. Race out as fast as we can out wide, try and turn them back inside.
You'd be living offside, wouldn't you, just trying to get up there in their faces?
Well, who cares about a penalty when you're down by 40 points?
Kamali, Lamb, Fletcher, Barnett through the gap, Barnett for the try, and Barnett the try. Richie Barnett extends the lead to 38-0 with the kick to come from right in front. Simple stuff in the end. You have to question the commitment of the Manly Seagulls defence.
Well, you have a look at the way that it was structured. They did it very well, just decided to attack back on the inside of the ruck. They hit it pretty well as they hit the hole. It was wonderful work originally from Richie Barnett to take a ruck prior to that, but once they decided to hit it, Daniel Gartner and Adam Peters were the men that were left on the ground groping at nothing.
And you've just got to ask yourself about the commitment of the inside defenders, and it's been happening all day with Manly. That's just poor. It's unacceptable. It's a standard play that they'll, and Barnett, I mean, he's a quick man, he's come into the great hole, but I think Daniel Gartner was entitled to make the tackle there.
But the Kiwis on the attack. Ginamu, superb long pass to Aero. Aero cuts inside, gets it to Blackmore. Oh, again, a lovely pass, one-handed. And Barnett is in. That was style, that was class, that was good handling. Well,
and here they are taking the tap free. And then Green across the back, and Healy is there and across the back again. 21 comes in, peaching Eddinghausen. It is brilliant stuff by the Sharks, and Barnett goes over to score. This is absolutely brilliant in the first round of Super League from Cronulla.
Well, it's a combination of brilliant.
Swain for Paul in the first receiver, Barnett, and Barnett slices through for the Kiwis. Now Masri is beaten. Barnett, welcome back to rugby league. Richie Barnett, the Kiwi captain, comes up with a second try of the match. Hasn't played since April 21, and he marks his return with an early 4-pointer. The New Zealand captain, and it's 8 points to 0. The Kiwis over Lebanon. But the Kiwis on the attack. Ginamu, superb long pass to Aero. Aero cuts inside, gets it to Blackmore. Oh, again, a lovely pass, one-handed. And Barnett is in. That was style, that was class, that was good handling from the Kangaroos. And at last they break the cover down. Richard Barnett gets the touchdown. But some of that handling in midfield, well, it has to be seen again to be believed.
One occasion here where New Zealand put their individual skills all together collectively. It's Richie Blackmore that manages to get the pass round the back of the defender. And Barnett scores a great try. That was great handling skills from New Zealand.
You see here, good quick play the ball. Now Ginamu, he's the man. He's taking the ball forward for New Zealand now. He's creating space for the big men out wide. Iro, he's going to offload here. Good offload to Blackmore. Inside to Barnett. Barnett's going to score a great try. Ginamu, he's the man that's getting New Zealand going forward.
Barnett rushes up so confidently. How about the hands in this? Barnett, what a return of the ball. And he's running.
For Kamali to tease some more as he goes across to Fittler, and quickly deciding to run it for Gerber to chip ahead for Saylor off his legs, and Saylor cannot control it, but he'll be brought back for putting a foot over the sideline. Might have been a head clash in the finish of all of that for Barnett and Saylor.
Well, so close there for the Australian side. Instead of putting up the high bomb, they chanced their arm out wide. Nice little kick. Wendell Saylor was out right there. He does it well. A real clash of heads from both players.
Well, a massive clash of heads here as they both go at it, and bang! Richie Barnett is down for the count.
Well, I think Richie Barnett may have come off a little bit worse for Ware. He seemed to cop it right just above the eye or on the nose.
Certainly not the look that birthday boy Richie Barnett.
Might be broken nose time, I think, for the Kiwi skipper. Wendell Saylor in his 14th appearance for Australia. Gives the thumbs up.
Go back to the debate, Fittler versus Lockyer. In Lockyer's favour, I guess, is a player that does get involved. Fittler maybe too often too guilty of going in and out of the game. But no doubting, when he does choose to get involved, the guy can do anything.
Blood bin for the Kiwi skipper as to Cecil Lavia gets another chance out there. Barnett probably doesn't realise that he is at the Olympic Stadium in Sydney.
Certainly took a big impact there. I know that when you break your nose, it's very, very awkward to carry on because another slight touch on it hurts. Australians just want to get on with it. New Zealand just want the final whistle to go, so do I, just quietly.
Tough it out, Toddy.
Here's a tough one.
A little over 26,000 announced at Stadium Australia. There's Richie Barnett. Might have a few memories of this one already erased for him after that knock, which I think he wouldn't be too disappointed about. Tallis still comfortable amongst this Australian lineup. They might be awaiting a medicap here for Richie Barnett. So this game coming to a slowdown, still with plenty of time left in it. Barnett still in all sorts of trouble. There have been plenty of injuries for this Kiwi side tonight.
Yeah, and I've got to say that I'm sure the New Zealand players are all in a real state of shock. I don't think anybody thought that the Australian side was going to run away with it like this. I mean, early on in the week, the New Zealand side were hammered with injuries and suspensions, but on paper they look a fairly strong Kiwi outfit, and I was very confident it was going to be really close. I'm very surprised at the Australian side. I didn't know they were this good. They talked it up all week in the paper how good they were, but I didn't really realise just how good they are.
Kamali, huge difference as Tessessa Lavia gets out there again on debut.
The Australians certainly did a lot of talking this week as to what they were going to get out there and do, and some can perhaps term it arrogance, but in my mind there's no doubt it's a confident football side, a well-drilled football side. They went about their business. They knew clearly what their objectives were. The forwards rolled on. They set good foundations. Good.
Yes, Robbie, Paul very unhappy, and not the best birthday present also for Richie Barnett. Got the big whack on the nose and obviously looks a little worse than maybe it is.
Heavily concussed. We would expect a badly broken nose, maybe a check of the cheekbone area. It's been a tough injury night as well. I mean, as well as the Australians have played, they were thrown out during the week with injuries, the Kiwis, and they were heavily damaged in the first 40 as well.
Let's talk about one area that you thought that you raised concern in your Hughes file right back about 2 hours ago, Bill Harrigan, his effect on this game.
Well, he's the best fast-paced referee in the game, and
Swain for Paul in the first receiver, Barnett, and Barnett slices through for the Kiwis. Now Masri is beaten. Barnett, welcome back to rugby league. Richie Barnett, the Kiwi captain, comes up with a second try of the match. Hasn't played since April 21, and he marks his return with an early 4-pointer. The New Zealand captain. And it's 8-0 the Kiwis over Lebanon.
There's sensational players in this modern era of rugby league. We think of Lockyer, we think of Peachy at fullback. There's none better than this guy, Richie Barnett, the captain. The skills, uses this beautiful dummy, a fade away, and a great explosive turn of pace that just simply left Hazem Masri grasping at air. See this, the dummy, poor defence on the inside by Sammy Shimon. Made it so easy for Richie Barnett. Great pace in heavy conditions and created a way to score a wonderful try and a great captain's knock early in the game and a wonderful confidence booster for a very gifted rugby league player.
And a big Swain, I guess, can claim half of that.
That try was converted.
So Talau and Barnett, the try scorers for the Kiwis. In this opening quarter of the match, and a lovely head-on shot of Richie Barnett in and away, leaving Hazem El Masri behind. Two captains.
If he knew the truth, he'd understand.
29 years of age, New Zealand captain.
Replace numbers 10 and 11 on the Lebanon's.
Nice passing up on the line, rules away for New Zealand. 15 from the line. And last line spot on from El Masri. Swain, Jones, trouble on the left. They come back inside for Barnett. And Barnett has weaved his way over. Second try for the New Zealand captain. And they've reached 30 points, the Kiwis. And I reckon some of those bookies down at Ladbrokes might be moving their price in just a quarter of a point or two.
Again, it's a total team performance from the Kiwis. Rua came up with a fantastic run straight through the middle of the ruck, charged downfield, kept his composure, no silly pass, nice play of the ball here. Stacey Jones' pace there attracts two defenders wide, and like a panther, Richie Barnett close to the line, weaves his way into a wonderful hole, scores right under the post. You can just see the change of pace and great acceleration. Lovely swerve from Barnett. Nice play from Swain, ducking out from dummy half. Stacey Jones attracts two defenders, and the balance and poise of Barnett put him under the post. For
New Zealand captain, you've proven yourself, you know Eskimo. You're absolutely shivering here.
Well, see, I've never played in weather like that ever before I'm just glad it's finished. It's been a long 80 minutes, I can tell you, and the weather like that. But I'm glad I got through that game, and for the team to win a game and with no points scored against us, we're very happy.
Well, on a personal note, I mean, today is a triumph. You haven't played since that horrific injury in the Anzac Test back in April, so there must have been some mixed thoughts going into the game.
Yeah, last night I really couldn't sleep. I woke up this morning for the very first time and felt a few butterflies, and I never do during a game, before a game. I was just happy to get through a game and come through it with no injury, especially thinking about the face and that during the game. I had a lot of thoughts before the game, and to complete the game, I'm really happy and wrapped.
Chairman of the Rugby League International Federation is there as well. So too Sir Rodney Walker, Vice Chairman of the Rugby League.
Only a couple of points in front late in the game. They'll know that they have to play for the full 80 minutes. Australia's strength, and has been for many, many years, is their ability to turn it on in the final quarter. They will go right to the very end.
Out they come. The crowd gets its first glimpse of them side by side. The Aussies on the left of your screen in the traditional green and gold. The Kiwis in black and white. And Frank Endicott's face looks like thunder. Richie Barnett behind him. What a World Cup it's been for Richie Barnett. And this week we take a look at the Test match history. In reinforcement. This is Stacey Jones, such a danger. Beautiful ball to Barnett. Cowie missed him. Barnett on the charge. Jones is going to clear up to the line. Ball fell out right on up there to Barnett, and Barnett touches down. Richie Barnett gets the first try in this Test match for the Kiwis, and Barnett, but it was created by Stacey Jones. A beautiful ball and a great run from Jones, and Barnett in support.
Beautiful work yet again, and you can see that we were mesmerised at the play of the ball. We hesitated in defence. Sculthorpe went too high, so did Cowie. Barnett got away, a beautiful pass on the inside. One of the best support players in the world, Stacey Jones, offloads to the fullback. That is quite a sensational try. But again, you see the magic through the dummy. Sculthorpe, watch for Cowie, he goes far too high, pushed him through. Soon as he sucked the fullback, Chris Redlinski offloads. Cover came across, Jones offloads to the fullback. Beautiful play, outstanding, look at the offload there. Jones sucked in Cummins, soon as he committed himself, he offloaded.
Well, how about that for Richie Barnett, from one end of the field to the other. Defence with the bomb that he took and claimed so well. And within minutes, he's up the other end of the field and scoring the try, which Darryl Halligan eats for breakfast, conversions like that.
Well, you can see how he goes back on the inside. Superb stuff there, but they went far too high. Great support play back on the inside, and as soon as Cummins commits, there he is, the fullback. Well, what a sensational effort by the Kiwis.
This second half.
We're caught on the blind side, they've gone the wrong way.
Stacey Jones, no, there they are with that crossfield kick again. Barnett has taken it out there. Barnett gets his second. The referee hasn't given it. He's going to check it.
For the onside.
And he wants to check whether Barnett was onside.
If he's clear, you'll get the try.
Or offside. There, but there's the try scorer, Barnett, watching. And the try is given. Richie Barnett gets the try, an outstanding full-back, and a quite wonderful kick from Stacey Jones. Almost a carbon copy of what happened in the first Test with that beautiful crossfield kick that was swooped on by Stephen Kearney then. Look at it.
Well, we're a little bit short on the blind side. I called that just before this, and really we should have got to it. We had the big fella, Andrew Farrell, there. He really should have launched a little bit more than that, and this should be easy meat for this fella.
This is a gift too. Glad to tell you it is, and this Test match has turned on its head. 20 points to 16 from 16-8, 2 tries in 3 minutes at the start, well, after 10 minutes of this second half.
Well, it was a great leap by the fullback, Richie Barnett, who's had a fine match. Made several breaks in the first half, but what a time to come up with a crucial try. It's the defence that's been just superb. Couple that with a kicking game and their ability to keep the ball alive. Some of the play that the Kiwis have shown in the second half, well, you've got to admire it.
Barnett's away. Barnett is on his way to the hat-trick. He's got support inside from Henry Paul, and Henry Paul scores another. And that really is the test match and the series for New Zealand. Barnett has had a magnificent match, and it's the Kiwis in this capacity crowd who are celebrating now. There's not many of them, and Henry Paul comes up with his first ever test try. He changed the course of history in this second half. The Kiwis have won an incredible victory.
Well, there you see the deep kick. The chase was very slow with a tired outfit here. They said that the Kiwis would miss a man called Matthew Ridge. Not when you got a guy like this slotting into his place. Richie Barnett offloads and Paul scores it. The balance of this guy is quite superb. Can play anywhere in the three-quarter line, and with skills like that, it's not surprising. The support, the first try, Henry Paul for Kiwis. He'll enjoy it. Look at that, they allowed him 20, 30 metres before they actually got anywhere near him. So unselfish. Soon as he drew the fullback, offload, smile says it all. We're done and dusted.
A great try from Henry Paul.
I think it's great that they've, through adversity, you bring a team together, as Ivan said that, and I think the consistency in players too. They went through a bit of a tumultuous time with injury and retirement for Tim Grant, so they had a lot of those injuries come in. They finally settled into a pattern. Yeah, if they keep Tuivasa-Sheck out of the game and Maloney's kicking game, if they can control that, I think Penrith will win this game if Tuivasa cannot get himself into the game. Yeah. In fact, Penrith just made it look so easy coming out of trouble. You know, the style of play, the offloads that they had, they just able to get through the middle quite easy. And I just felt that they just started to build with Maloney's influence in that second half. The control from that man was unbelievable, and I thought that was the game changer.
Well, Glenn, it started with the kick, the depth of kick against the wind. Really put them under the pump, Canterbury Bulls, but this was a nice reply. You're doing a good job. A nice shift right to left. A lot of decoy runners. Looked like a bit of a block play on the edge. Drawing the players in. Great work here from the fullback. And a nice little tip on there. Just in a matter of time. Just seconds before the defender came across.
Still plenty of tackles for Counties. Beautiful passing. Here comes the try. Lovely play. Talty's over. That was one of the better tries of the afternoon for the Stingrays, and completes what will be a wonderful afternoon for the visitors.
Yeah, that was enterprising football. Post-line play, offloads, players running the correct lines. Talty's been fantastic again. Look at this, Jethro just eyeing up a situation. The ball wasn't the best, got outside. Look at that, inside ball. Too easy.
Quite excited about this one. We've had a really nice appetizer, and now we've got the unbeaten Bulls looking to do something they haven't done in a long time.
Particularly in 2014, and they haven't played here since 2009, so vitally important with their home ground advantage. I think that'll weigh heavily in this result. If the crowd are vocal, as we probably know they will be, so it'll be an interesting contest.
Yes, but the Akarana Falcons under Keith Hanley, they just bring something, you know, and I just wonder whether they bring a little bit more flair when you take a look at the addition of Aidan Ackland, also David Barner, and a pretty handy forward pack as well.
I guess playing the competition in Auckland, they're able to compete week in, week out, and so they bring that experience into this competition. But I've really enjoyed the Canterbury Bulls.
Solomon Vasuvalangi, he won't have Chase Bernard as his front row partner, but Vasuvalangi, for a big man, he's got beautiful feet.
Great late foot work here at the line, and he's just strength through the tackle. He bumps off, so if you're going to push near him, there's opportunities around him.
Yes, but it's their little hooker too, and Josiah Afu, that makes so much of that happen.
He certainly is, and on the back end of that, Josiah Afu's been fantastic. I mean, his ruck recognition and his speed off the mark has been superb, and if they do win that front battle, he's certainly going to come into play.
Actually, you talk about ruck speed. That's something that Andrew Amotangi is very aware of. He felt that County slowed them down. He wants to try and speed it up against Akanata. I think that's going to be tough.
Yeah, speed of the ruck. I mean, it's the key in their game, and they're both very astute coaches, and then they're right. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out and what sort of style of play that we see today.
And you just, when you think about it, Richie Barnett, just probably a little bit more class today.
Yeah, I think they won the battle in the middle. They really started to punch their way through in the middle of the ruck, and that was the end result, really. You had guys like Seo and Barner who were just fantastic. They really fronted up. They were square. They had an offload in them, and they just continued it on in the second half.
Well, Richie was crying before, so I thought, you know.
Oh, 2002, the Roosters. Butch, I mean, your family's really important to you.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly through that hard time, they were behind you, and so were the public.
Yeah.
A lot of league fans, and it meant a lot to you.
Oh, it was very humbling, to be fair, and my wife and my daughters were just
awesome,
unbelievable, and I can never thank them, really. It was,
I love your family.
I get a bit emotional talking about it.
But it was a whole host of good players. Before I have my say, you can't have your say, but Richie, impartial, as a Rooster and former Kiwi and everything else, who's your back to?
Really hard to go outside in, and I'd go Arwen and Ali, actually.
That'll be mine too, but you can leave now if you...
Yeah.
That's right. Richie, what do you think?
It's all about when you start your football. That's where you enter the door of rugby league, and that's where you learn all the things. So when you go in there and you have a great experience, you're going to love the game forever. And I think it's really important that you know your club football is the grassroots. That's where it's at.
It's great to, and from Canterbury as well for you.
Oh, for me, I'm going more the other Roosters, to be honest. Corbin McGregor, she's come back from the injury. I think she's fantastic, particularly at fullback, and I think she's going to grow leaps and bounds. And to be honest, they're probably in better preparation. They've had the Harvey Norman competition. They've come off an Origin series, which is just next level. So, you know, they're better prepared. But, hey, they were better prepared last year also, and the Warriors won.
Before we start quickly on the game, I want to know if you're a Rooster or you're actually a Sharky. I mean, you've got two teams who are going for the
Isn't it
share,
great?
but it can't be both.
I'm lucky, but I'll go the Roosters. They're up top of the ladder, roundabouts.
Sad, Richie.
No, I think it's brilliant, and the ECG and everything about it, the foundation clubs to our game. There's no bigger teams than these two teams.
Isn't it funny that that's a great position to be in?
It is a good position. Although Cowboys have won 13 from 19 at home, they are playing.
Don't throw me those stats.
So it's interesting, but they've both been inconsistent this year. It seems like they're consistent with their players that they've got on the field now. Players are starting to show their mojo, and so it's looking pretty. It's going to be a tight matchup between these two. I'm looking forward to it.
Richie, has he been the Warriors' best through 11 rounds?
I think he's probably been the most effective player in the competition. Like you say, most of the time, it's almost like a given every week that he does, but there's actually more to his game as well. Like, they haven't quite utilised someone with his capability.
We thought that was going to be a real bonus for us, but it wasn't the case, Rich.
No, and you had Tom Gilbert just muscling it up, and he was aggressive, taking the ball on and actually getting in the faces of the Warriors players. So he was playing his role really well. I like the fact that Scott Drinkwater jumped on the back end of those quick play the balls, and he identified it really quick and jumped on it and scored a try in that first half. So they capitalised in many areas.
James Tedesco, he'll be a massive part of how the Roosters bounce back tonight against the Vodafone Warriors. What are you expecting from him, Richie?
Same as he's done from the beginning of this year, 7 tries already, 20 tackle busts already. So he's a player that really hobs around and guess they're depleted in terms of their forward rotation, but he'll sniff at any opportunity, and that's what he's really good at. No, I think he looks at your bench, so Ben Murdoch-Masila comes in. I think he wants to step up too, being a big body and experienced campaigner. These are the sort of opportunities you can lay the foundation for. Jazz, Richie Barnett here. Listen, their line speed, the Roosters, how difficult was that coming against a side that was always up in your face?
Yeah, that's what I mean, bro. They slow it down with 3 in the tackle, sometimes 4 in the tackle, and it allows them to get their line forward.
Yeah, again, the Roosters, you've got to take their hat off to, you know, dealing with adversity with all their players out and then fronting up at the ECG to win a game in that fashion. So they did it to Canberra last week. The Roosters are now turned that around and showing the Warriors where they actually sit in the competition.
Richie, I think Roger will be obviously disappointed about the result tonight, but second to that, his performance in relation to James Tedesco, because that was one of the big reasons to tune in tonight and watch this game, the head-to-head battle between arguably 2 of the best fullbacks in the game. He lost that battle tonight, didn't he?
He'd be really disappointed the fact that he didn't even have a chance to be in the game. And I think what the Roosters do really well is they construct a game and a defensive pattern to nullify his impact. Unfortunately, with Tedesco, he was able to do that because he had so much ground to work in and he had the freedom to operate.
And 10 more sets.
Yeah.
That makes a difference.
Yeah.